Well, greetings. It's wonderful to be here with you today, and the sun is actually coming out here. So that's a nice change in our weather system here in the Portland area. So we're going to conclude our talking about some of the different sections in the Reflect book, and the last section is about wisdom. And that's an interesting one because I purposely saved it for the end of the book because wisdom will flourish in so many different ways as a result of our practice. And there are many different ways, perspectives of looking at wisdom in our lives and how to bring it in. I'm just going to share a couple of those with you here. Uh, I believe I have 18 different readings in this in the last part of the book here in the wisdom section. But uh, I picked a couple here that I think are important. One is that now that if you're reflecting and you're beginning to use this practice, and you're here and now practice, it's important for you to find people who are also supportive of that, who you can share your experiences with, and invite these people into your lives. So let me read this reading for you. To stay present, invite the right friends into your life. Just as the flu spreads by close contact, an emotional illness spreads by exposure to the poisons of jealousy, envy, ignorance, and greed. While you will encounter all kinds of persons in your life, you need to find persons who protect and support your here and now practice. Seek out ways to practice wise presence with others. This will sustain you in difficult times. Reflect on this. And so that's one reason why it's important to have a community uh, such as the one that we're creating here, a place where people can come and hear from the experiences of others, and then to bring that into your non-virtual world as well, right? But this can be an important touchstone that we're creating here. Let me read the reflections for this. If you were being brutally honest, who brings negativity into your life? And I'm not suggesting that you eliminate those persons from your life, but it's important that you also bring in, sometimes we don't get to choose our family, right, or other people are in our lives in some way, but we need to know that we can also invite in the positives. And by becoming part of this community, you've done that, which is kind of cool. But if you were being brutally honest, who brings negativity into your life? And how could you buffer yourself from this negativity? So that's the other question here. And there are a lot of different ways that you might consider about how to do that, but I want you to reflect and see how you might buffer from it, right? So and at the same time, you could accept this person perhaps, but and buffer yourself from that negativity. Today, how could you cultivate friendships with others who are practicing here and now awareness, or what I like to call presencing, right? The practice of being present. And uh, who is there in your life who uh, maybe also is interested in this? There are a lot of different retreats to go to. You can practice it here in this community. And so, but it's important to know that also we can catch an emotional flu, quote, flu from others, right? And as we can catch a cold, we can also catch a positive feeling from others. So just noticing how others are impacting you is important to your well-being, your emotional awareness. I'm going to go to another one here. I wish we had time to do several more of these, but um, when tempted to fix others' gardens, pull your own weeds first. Always a good idea. But we're going to do This one here, which is really, often we see ourselves in a divided uh, uh, culture. People take sides, and it's very easy to do that. And I think it's a lot more challenging to not allow yourself just to fall into a reactive position with things. And so I want you to really think about this, right? Even for people who you might feel lack an understanding that you have about certain things. But so let me read this. Everyone deserves dignity and respect. Humankind is a work in progress, dynamic, learning, and growing. Give space and understanding to others. Yes, you can shout in someone's face that they are ignorant and insensitive and disrespectful. Or you can be the gentle breeze that carries seeds of dignity and respect. Let your soft, persistent voice be like water carving new pathways of understanding, courtesy, and kindness. Reflect on this. Wouldn't that be wonderful if we could uh, express and exhibit this more compassionate way of being, acting with dignity, acting with patience and kindness toward others. Uh, and in order to do that, we need to disarm the ego, right? Well, what part of us is ready to ignite into flames when we hear something um, that we don't like, that we take personally, or that is an affront to some belief system? So let me go through these reflections. The first one, what would it be like to disarm and reduce your own insensitivity? So this is accountability for one's own self here, right? And to disarm that. If you had a house, you could almost think of those things in you that ignite or inflame you as straw. And imagine you had a house with a lot of straw. If somebody threw a match in there, the whole house is going to go up in flames very quickly. But let's say you cleaned out that straw, totally clean. And let's say you had a concrete floor too. But somebody could throw as many matches in there as they wanted. But without the straw, nothing's going to ignite, right? Nothing is there to react. Here's the second question or reflection. How can you bring a soft voice of understanding to heal suffering? The soft voice of understanding, the voice that is still but very powerful in that way. Again, recognizing, and this is one of the key elements of reflecting, is to notice that others are suffering. They may uh, not be uh, fully capable of reacting in any other way right now, but you can recognize their suffering, and in doing so, um, not necessarily inflame them either, right? We work on ourselves first. And the last thing here, the last reflection slash practice. What one thing could you do in your own neighborhood right now as a way to start spreading dignity and respect? Interesting question. And just one thing, one small thing that you can do. Could be anything from just emptying your cup to maybe uh, sharing, volunteering, helping another. Just one thing in your neighborhood. And your neighborhood could be a lot of things. It could be the neighborhood of your own thoughts. Could be the neighborhood of those around you. Could be the natural neighborhood. So uh, this is a very interesting idea that everyone deserves dignity and respect. And humankind is very much a work in progress, aren't we? We're doing the best we can. Well, as you reflect on these things, I wish you a great inner peace, and that I hope you come back, and we'll be sharing a lot of other ideas and tools for you to not just reflect, but to uh, practice different kinds of meditation and different kinds of movement and things that I hope will bring a lot of joy and meaning into your life. Thanks again, and see you soon.